Good morning. It's Friday, May 22nd, and we're going to continue talking about action, or more specifically, about our inability to take the appropriate action in certain situations. And that comes from a prompt in the Daily Stoic, which is, can I be a good person right here, right now? Now, this prompt was inspired by a line from Marcus Aurelius, which I'll get back to in a second, but let's actually set that quote up in the right context. I mean, here we have a man who never wanted to be emperor, but he was selected for the most powerful job in the world at that time. He ruled a territory stretched from Northern Europe to the Middle East. He was fighting wars on multiple fronts and dealing with a plague that would last 15 years, kill millions, and destroy the global economy. He was also dealing with plots to overthrow him, coming from his friends and his family. I mean, the man had a lot on his mind and even more responsibilities. I can imagine there were many days when he woke up and just said, I can't be bothered today. Yet he stopped while writing in his journal to remind himself this quote: "You get what you deserve. You could be good today, but instead you choose tomorrow." I mean, we're all tempted by procrastination every single day, even great Roman emperors. And when I feel that desire to begin to grow inside me, I remind myself of that line from Marcus Aurelius. And most times, that's enough to jar me awake and cause me to take action in that moment instead of punting it down the road. But maybe there's a better way. Maybe with procrastination, as with most things in life, it's better to treat the cause rather than the symptoms. In this case, that cause is something that in his book, The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield calls the resistance. The resistance is the opposing force that prevents us from taking action, particularly in any situation that foregoes immediate gratification in favor of long-term benefit. Basically, that's all the activities in which we're most likely to find ourselves procrastinating, whether that's getting back in shape or tackling that challenging work project or developing a new and desired skill or volunteering or overcoming addiction or starting a new diet. In dealing with the resistance, for me, it's helpful to bring it to life, to treat it as an impression. I'm reminded of Epictetus's line, "Let me see who you are and what you represent." If we know what to look for, we have a better shot at overcoming it. So, taking from The War of Art, here are some of the characteristics of the resistance. Number one, the resistance is invisible. We experience it as a negative force, something that repels us from doing our work. Number two, the resistance is internal. It isn't due to outside forces. As much as we would love to lay blame, it's self-generated. It is the enemy within. Number three, the resistance is universal. Everyone experiences it. Number four, the resistance never sleeps. No matter how self-disciplined you think you've become, it will never stop its assault. Number five, the resistance is fueled by fear. It's parasitic and requires our fear to thrive. Take away that fear and you defeat the resistance, at least in that situation at that moment. Number six, the resistance is most powerful at the finish line. It can sometimes require a Herculean effort to finish an important task. We have to anticipate that final opposition that we'll face and just get it done. Number seven, self-doubt, like fear, is a very good indicator of the resistance. By being aware of these feelings, we can turn the tables against the resistance as they direct us what to do. The stronger the feeling of self-doubt or fear, the more we need to take action immediately. Number eight, rationalization is the resistance's right-hand man. In an effort to avoid shame in not taking the correct course of action, we will generate any number of rational justifications as to why we can't do our work. Number nine, the resistance is often accompanied by unhappiness. It manifests itself in the form of apathy, boredom, self-pity, anger, and depression. If not checked, these feelings can strengthen the resistance, making it even harder to get started. Number 10, procrastination is the most common manifestation of the resistance. It's where we started this discussion. We easily rationalize postponing taking action just 1 hour, just one day. But the danger is when this gets extended and it becomes a new habit in its own right, extending into perpetuity. But perhaps most important of all, what we need to remember is that the resistance can be beaten. We've all done it many times. You know that feeling you had when you mustered the strength to get started, to keep going, to finish strong. You know how incredible and invigorating that felt. And the goal is to replicate that every chance we get. And we do that by first identifying the resistance each time it begins to materialize. Using these characteristics to fabricate an addressable opponent allows us to direct our actions towards successfully defeating it. And just as Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, it allows us to do good today instead of choosing tomorrow. Hope you found that insightful, and have a great one. Bye.